So I told you guys it was worth the wait, but I do have to apologize that I have not put up a video for 3 weeks and it was absolutely killing me. I've been so busy, just family life, stuff like that, and sorry if it's a bit windy. I tried to sort of hide in this corner here where there's no wind, but it is proving difficult. So yeah, I told you guys it was worth the wait, just trust me. I was busy family stuff, finishing partying out in Safiro because there was a whole heap of stuff left. Everything is pretty much gone. All I got left is I kept the wheels and I have the GTR passenger seat if anyone wants it, and that's pretty much it. Everything else is gone. And I got a little bit more than sort of what I would have taken for the car, so as much stuffing around as it is to party out a car, it was kind of worth it. So I think everyone knew what I was going to buy after this. It was a dead giveaway. I've said it a million times exactly what car I want. I actually already had a running gear ready for one of these cars, so here she is. Now before I get into it, I'm a bit sick as well. I will tell you a story. So Safiro gone, 100% I was buying a VL, that's it. Finally I could get a VL. Now the plan even before was to get a VL, before I had the VN. But at that time, sort of start of COVID, mid-COVID, is when the prices went crazy. Like VLs skyrocketed, or everything skyrocketed pretty much. And I just couldn't afford it. I could not afford a VL. I couldn't justify the money. So that's why I ended up with the VN in the first place. But the plan was always to get a VL. Now I got both. So prices have dropped a bit. They're still expensive. Look, I'm a 80s kid, so when I was at school, genuine VL turbos were like 5 grand. NA VLs, 500 bucks, 1,000 bucks for a nice one. So it was very hard to pay the money for one of these nowadays, but I just had to do it. You got no choice. They are what they are. They're worth what they're worth. And I wanted a pretty... It's hard because, look, well, here's my story. So, decided I'm going to get a VL. Sweet, let's start looking. Let's go looking at cars. I went to look at one white one that was... The price started with a 3. It was a completely stock NA exec white with blue interior. Now I love the blue interior. My 31s all had blue interior. My XE had blue interior. I love blue interior, but I hate white. White was the killer with that car, and it was a very good car. It had genuine 90,000 Ks on it with books, a 2-owner car. The interior was like 9.5 out of 10, that thing. I'll put a couple of pictures up here, but the body was a bit average. It had a bit of rust, bottom of the windscreen on both sides, in the boot floor, stuff like that. And look, the paint on my VN is decent, but this was worse. Like it needed a paint job. And if I'm gonna be picky with a VL, one thing I don't want to do is bodywork. But interior, it almost had me, that car. I was really contemplating it. Anyway, decided no, it's not the car for me. I cannot be bothered with rust repairs and a respray. No chance in hell. And I went to look at a silver SL. Was it an SL or an exec? I can't even remember, to be honest. Which I'll also put some pictures here. Now this car was a lot more expensive. This was approaching prices starting with a 4, but it had a built auto, built diff, a stock 30 with head gasket, head studs, a turbo setup. It was pretty basic, but it had good bones. Like, I loved that it had a diff and a trans done already, but that car did not look as good as it did in the pictures. The interior was probably a 5 out of 10. And the body, oh my God. Look, no, hopefully the guy that I went to look at this car from doesn't watch my videos, because I feel like I'm bagging it a bit, but paint was atrocious. I'll put some photos up here as well of what I mean. This whole car looked like it was skinned with bog, and the sand marks, the orbital sander marks all through, like under the paint, filler everywhere on this car. And again, not willing to do bodywork. And actually that same day I went to look at the silver one, scrolling through Facebook Marketplace as I was doing. Literally every hour I was searching VLs, looking, just so that if one popped up, I was there ready to go. And that's exactly what happened. I was scrolling, I came across this car, looks amazing, and I looked at the location. It said Hobbs Crossing, which is very close to me. Messaged the person, like, I want to come look at the car right now. It was priced pretty fairly in my books, still expensive, but from what it looked like in the photos, it was priced pretty fair. And then I was getting nervous. The person wasn't replying, wasn't even opening the message, waiting, looking. I was getting like antsy about it. I'm like, oh, someone's gonna buy this car before I even get to go look at it. Anyway, I had a look if I had any mutual friends. Anyway, like 30 or 40 mutual friends. Scroll through who are mutuals. One was my cousin with the red VL turbo that you've seen doing me do a video on. Called him, do you know this guy? Yep, can you please call him, tell him to call me. So anyway, we ended up getting together. I went to look at the car. Interior not as good as it looked in pictures, but you know, whatever. But body, mad. I came to the realization that I had a budget for VLs, and it was, look, I'll be honest with you guys, it was 30 and under. 30 was max, absolute max, if it was an NA VL. Actually, even a turbo VL, it didn't really matter because I was going to tear everything out anyway, so it made no difference if it was turbo or NA. I'd probably rather an NA just because 9 times out of 10 they haven't been stuffed with. But so yeah, 30 was my budget. This was well under that. But the cars I was looking at and photos and stuff like that of cars for sale, I realized that if that was going to be my budget, then I just had to accept that I'm not going to buy this mythical 100% 10 out of 10 perfect NAVL. It's just not going to happen. So I realized I either had to lower my expectations and accept a car that either needed a paint job, or it was a roller, or the interior was stuffed but the body was good, or something had to give there, or I had to raise my budget, which I'd... Shut up! Ooh! Didn't want to raise my budget because I'm already like killing me here that I'm paying this much for a car that I saw as a kid so much cheaper. But anyway, that's not the point. I dropped my expectations a bit, and yeah, so this is the car that I ended up with. So it is an 87 VL Executive, non-turbo, auto, Maranello red, MX grey bars, with an NA auto, 3-litre single cam, and whatever the hell boxer in these stupid things. And that's the car. Now, a bit of a backstory on it. There's gonna be a lot of talking in this video, sorry guys. Look, I don't know how true this is, but this is what I got from the last owner that I bought it off, and the books suggest this also. It was a Westpac Bank company car. The guy that drove it has it for, I don't know, what do you have a company car for, 4 years or whatever, if you're leasing or however the hell all that works. When his time was up with the car, he actually bought it from the company, and he had it all this time up until, I don't know, the guy I bought it off, I didn't even ask, to be honest. I reckon it was like last year or the year before he bought it. He said he saw it all the time at this person's house and knocked a few times and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, after a while, ended up getting the car. Now, this car definitely did not look like this. I have some photos of what it looked like before. It was pretty stuffed. So the person I bought it off got all the rust done and the car painted, which, thank God, all that was done. And I actually know the 2 people that painted it and did all the rust repairs, so I spoke to them. It was all done properly, all cut out. I believe this panel was replaced. All up here was cut out. Had rust in the bottom of the guards, so I had replacement guards. Got all new bars, headlights, molds, badges, like all this stuff's all new. These, etc, etc. Even these, all done, all window seals done when the car was painted. So body wise, which is what I wanted, I got a good car here. Well, look, from what I've seen so far, I haven't dived too deep into it, but we'll see. Too bad I own it now anyway. Some pretty cool things. I have a photo of the original owner. I'm not going to put that up, you know, that's sort of just for me. But yeah, that is it. It's a stock NA Auto VL. Now, I've actually had this car for about 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks now, but look, it does have some cons, definitely, this car. Some I knew when I bought it, some I have found, but that's all part of buying a car, I guess. You find things along the way, some dodgy shit, stuff like that. I knew it had a shoddy alternator when I went to buy it, which was fine. So I haven't been able to drive it because I pretty much picked it up, drove it home, and that was 2.5 weeks ago. And this, today, while I'm doing this video, is the second time I'm driving it because it's had a few problems. So one, the alternator, which, lucky, I actually had at work. As I said previously, I've already got a running gear for this car, and that running gear had a Frenchie's Performance LS1 alternator conversion on it. So this car now has a like $700 or $800 alternator conversion on it, on this stock auto VL. So that got it up and driving again, and it was a drama getting the battery recharged, and anyway, so now it runs again. But then, between doing that, this door has decided to stop opening. I've got it cracked because in this position it'll still open, but as you can see, the door trim's off because we're still trying stuff with trying to get it to open and close by itself, but had no luck. I'm actually going to go from here to my mate's panel shop to get him to have a look at it. So body wise, obviously full respray, a lot of new parts. Now interior was very average, probably worse than the silver one I went to look at. Now this car's obviously sat outside for a long time because all the vinyl's pretty stuffed, which is whatever, no problems. That's just something I had to give on. I got a car with a good body, so if it had a shit interior or whatever, I'll just figure it out. So on top of the seat is all sun damaged, and the sides are the front seats, which whatever. The material's good. I'll either get the vinyl redone or just buy a set of new seats. These, look, the interior did not look like this when I picked it up. So as I said, I've had this for 2 weeks and it's just been sitting in the garage, but I've already been cleaning it. I didn't want to do the outside or nothing too drastic because I needed to do this video first. So you sort of saw what it looked like as I got it. But I can tell you I've already done carpet. I've already steam cleaned everything, done all the door trims. As you can see, it's pretty decent in here. Look, I say the interior is pretty crap, but it's not bad. It needs a steering wheel. It needs a wiper switch. That actually broke when I picked the car up, literally driving out of the guy's house. Carpet was stuffed, so it's got carpet in it. The seats are okay, like these are a bit, you know, these are broken. Back seat's pretty decent. These are all stuffed, which I gotta try and find. These quarter trims are both stuffed, which unfortunately are like the most expensive friggin' VL part in the world. Can anyone tell me, I noticed on every single VL I went to look at, I went to look at 3 and they were all the same. Why the hell do these go blue? I don't get it. It was the same in every car. But anyway, so interior's all right, and I will get it there. I'm gonna get this thing. Look, this is gonna be a forever car, so I'm gonna get this thing mad. What else have we got going on in here? It's missing the pad for the footrest. Look, some things I didn't know. Radio doesn't work, and the goddamn blower motor doesn't work. Like no heater, no aircon, no nothing. You flick it over, does absolutely nothing. The whole door issue here, look, that's not the last owner's problem. That just happened to happen sort of a couple of days after I bought it. These are both broken on both sides. The little holder for the sun visor. Look, it's all little shit. The good thing about VLs is there's a shitload of repro parts for these things. I got to do these Bailey channels, I think they're called, rubbers, a lot of those. Here is the holy grail. Literally the best engine in the world, better than 2Js, LSs, everything. The good old single overhead cam, 3 litre straight 6 Nissan engine. This thing runs like a dream, drives perfect, auto shifts perfect, diff's not noisy, nothing. All I had to do was a belt for that LS1 alternator. It's missing the battery bracket thing, so that's a bit loose. It smells like it's got a leaky injector up the back here somewhere, which whatever. The bottles are stuffed. I had to do a booster, which you'll see in next video. It had a lot of loose exhaust manifold studs, so I went over that. It's got a goddamn broken one in the back. Radiator cap was gone. Was missing the shroud, but the engine bay is actually pretty decent. Like, paint's pretty good. Just, it's obviously had a brake master let go at some points because along the rail there the paint's a bit stuffed, but the engine bay is actually really good. And the boot, not that there's much to show you in the boot, but it did have rust in the floor, so all in here has been painted as well. But it's neat. It's got the factory jack. We've even got the factory hubcaps in here. There's a couple of little bits and pieces, car cover, beautiful looking blanket. It's got a new boot seal. You know, all in here was painted as well. So I'm happy. Body wise, I'm happy. Now the real things that got me over the line with this car, one, it wasn't white. I really did not want white. My preferences were blue, like the Safiro color, red, obviously yellow. Look, I'm not gonna list every single color, but pretty much anything but white. So that really ticked the box with this car. 3 major things that got me over the line. Now this might sound stupid to a lot of other people, but these. So factory plates, this car's never been unregistered. There, what was on it, brand new. So absolutely killer that they're still on it, still full reg. I think I'm gonna keep it full reg just because I don't want to lose the plates, even though it adds a massive cost to the freaking reg over here. But anyway, another thing was genuine key, and a few of them. And the biggest thing, which I'll show you when I get back home, is books. And a paper trail of service history. And when I say paper trail, I mean a big paper trail. So that really got me over the line with that car. I love that sort of stuff. And to me, really helps with the sale, like to me, and if I ever decide to sell it, you know, onwards, it really helps to sell a car. But apart from that, there's not much to really talk about. It's a stock NA Auto VL exec. In the future, I will show and explain this running gear I have for the car. It is pretty insane, and this car is 1,000,000% going to be the fastest car I've ever owned. Stay tuned for that. One problem, actually, I just remembered. Oh, the door opened by itself. With the car running, which I will show you, while we're on the topic, listen to that. I don't know why they didn't put these engines in like Rolls Royces and Bentleys and stuff like that, because absolutely silent. Listen to that. You know what? Doing a little drive in this morning, I actually like it standard. It's so comfy, easy to drive, power steering's beautiful. I think in my old age, I'm getting over all the loud, bumpy, noisy, creaky cars. But anyway, listen to that. But, so this is the problem. So to get it to turn off, you got to pull this little thing forward. Has anyone had this problem? How the hell do I fix it? Please don't tell me I need to put a new column in it. That's all I want. That's the last thing I want to hear. But straight away, if you're watching this and you're a VL owner, if anyone has a grey 15i steering wheel in, like I'm talking immaculate condition, I will buy it. Or a full set of seats in 15i as well. I will take it. Now the good thing about doing this video is I can finally clean this car. I haven't washed it, I haven't done nothing since buying it. I want to get it up on stands, wheels off, gurney underneath, everywhere, just get this car as clean as possible. Because the few things I've done on this car, mechanically, have been a nightmare just because it's so greasy and cruddy everywhere. So I just want to get it clean first, and then we can sort of start. I want to do a lot of maintenance stuff, change all the fluids, plugs, filters, crap like that first, just to get it. Look, I'm going to be honest, this running gear is going to be a long wait. I'm not going to be doing it anytime soon. I want to get this car to a point where it's just a really nice NAVL. I'm talking interior, underneath, etc, and then I'll do the running gear. I just want to get the car itself nice first, because then I can still keep driving it. You know, it's a good comfy car to drive, so I can still cruise around in the meantime. So it will be a long process, this car. So expect to see videos on this car for, look, I'm gonna say I'm not even gonna do the running gear this year probably. Just get the car nice and driving good and reliable. But yeah, so let me know what you think, guys. I'll do some sort of beauties of this thing before I go, but that's it. So pretty much everyone guessed it. Everyone knew exactly what I was getting. There was no surprise there, but let me know what you think of the car. Did I make a good purchase? Is it a shit purchase? I have sort of thought that to myself, you know, did I buy the right car? Because all these problems that have popped up, but in the end, whatever. Find a car you want, buy it, and just figure it out from there, to be honest. But yeah, I'm interested to hear what people think of this new purchase.